really touch and motivate that spiritual part in that individual. Not to bring them down, not to, as if you're reading a eulogy, no. But the one to let him know that God is good. And if you trust him and you put your faith in him and you believe in your healing, that would happen. A lot of people are depressed from the minute they hear they have something. And sometimes they think it's that bad until they hear somebody else's story. So on that mode, you need to, in that term, would encourage a person by saying, listen here, this is your situation. Just trust God. It will be okay in time. Just remember that there's somebody else out there maybe going through the same thing or even something a little worse. So I encourage you, if you think on that, how you have your two hands, you have your two legs, you can see, you can speak, something good can come about. There can be a change. And if you are positive and encouraged, you can build on that and just go and look beyond that situation that you're presently faced with, that you think is doomed. Not necessarily so.
For those persons who might not know who Maria Chamont is and know how you got involved in being such a motivation to others, can you share that with the viewing audience, please?
Maria is just simply Maria. I must have been down the road through a lot of things, and because of my faith, as I always let people know, because of my faith in God, I have overcome. I have made every trial, every test in my life a stepping stone to take me to the next level that God has prepared for me. And based on that, my strong faith and determined to be someone and someone to be reckoned with, I have really moved on and was able to, not only by encouraging myself, but encouraging other people, other women, young folks, whether you are male or female, I'm there. You come to me, I will encourage you. For me, it's never telling somebody this the end, it's dooms, this can't happen. Oh my God, pity patty story, no.
Right.
We need to build. We need to step on that stone. We need to move on. We need to press forward. And if it is something involving others, let them see that you're strong enough to go forward and change whatever the devil meant for bad into a good.
Yes, because, you know, sometimes, like this, just this morning, I was having that conversation with someone, you know, that some people, you know, whenever you see them, they're always looking as if something is wrong, as if, you know, even if you tell them good morning, it's like you have to like squeeze a good morning out of them as well. And I wondered, you know, sometimes, how do they get to that place? And the person was saying, yes, but it's sometimes their circumstance. And I said, it's true, but we all have circumstances. But how do you get someone out of that and motivate them to not be that gloomy all the time?
One of the main things is in life, we need to surround ourselves with positive people. If you have a situation where it is sad and you are in company with someone that probably is facing the same thing, what that does to you, it suppresses you. You remain in that sad situation. But if you surround yourself with a person that's going to tell you, hey, let's do something positive. Have a positive conversation. Let's go someplace. Let's sit down and have a cup of tea. Or have a juice or something and let's discuss this. Go to the beach. But the most important thing is to have positive people as part of your life. Whether they are your age or whether they are not. But the person should be bringing something to your life. I have never, ever really remained in contact with people who are negative. I avoid negative people because the only thing it does is suppress you. You won't be able to move forward. You won't be able to see your life in a positive light. You'll remain in a dark corner, suppressed until you die. God hasn't created us to be that way.
Right.
He have made beautiful things, just like how you have beautiful flowers and plants. Surround yourself. And what the flowers and plants do, they energizes you. So if you have a lady that you're kind of feeling down, get a plant, a few plants in a pot. Start to water those plants and admire how they grow. Talk to them. You're going to draw from those plants the energy. They breathe like us. Mm-hmm. It's just if you put them in a house closed up, you know, they're going to die. Yes. But when you water them, and you start to speak to them, you see they come alive. They take something from you. Nature, you go to the beach, you don't have to go in the water, but you sit there, you let it off. You cry if you have to cry, you speak, just let it off. But let it be positive. Do not put yourself in a corner just feeling sorry for yourself. Because that's where the enemy, the devil, wants to get you. Then he got you. But if you turn that around and you say, hey, I'm going to just look for positive people, join a social group, get out of the house, get out of the corner, socialize, laugh. It is such a beautiful thing when you can smile, when you can laugh. It changes things. But if you get up in the morning with a sour face and feel that this is it, my day is done, no, you don't see the glory in a new day. You are already dooming yourself for that day. So your day can be bright again, even though no matter how high the sun is, you only seen the low part of life. So my advice to anybody, be you male or female, surround yourself with positive people. Listen to positive conversations. Play some positive music. Listen to some positive lyrics. It will make your day.
Have you always been this positive? I mean, because a lot of times with people, you know, their character has been built from small. Have you always been this positive?
Well, I'll tell you what, I always was. I believe I'm a Christmas baby, and I believe that I was born during that happy time, and I have developed and grown with a positive mode. It doesn't mean that I haven't been through some stress, but because of my positive mentality, I was over to turn all the negative things that I was faced with in my life into just stepping stones that have brought me to the level where I am today. That I'm able to sit here and speak and discuss and smile because I know that it's not easy for everybody and not everybody is like Maria. But if you're listening to what I'm saying and you observe what I'm saying, I'm helping you to think beyond your sadness, beyond your grief, and beyond everything else that is suppressing you at the moment, sickness included. You know, we need to look at the bright side of life. We know things never is the same every day. Every day is not the same. Every day you're faced with different challenges. But how do I react to these challenges? How do I attack them? Because they're attacking me. How do I counter-attack these challenges? And the first thing it starts with is a smile in the morning when you give thanks to God for a new day. Just smile. And all other things and feelings will change around that. And you'll be surprised to see at the end of the day how your mood will swing.
Yes, because that's something that besides just a smile that I try to instill in my kids, that every morning when they get up, the first thing they do before they get out of bed is just say, God, I thank you for this new day.
Amen.
Because it helps to set
Stimulate.
the tone for,
Yes.
for the day, you know. So, Marie, I believe that we have to go to a break. You know, we're going to come back and we're going to continue talking about the way you motivate others and how we can, you know, really instill this motivation in our youth and have them grow up to be motivated youngsters. Stay tuned, we will be right back.
EBE has been faithfully serving the communities of St. Martin, Saba, and Statia, powering your home and our economy. Come rain or shine, our qualified team of professionals are working hard 24 hours a day to provide you and your family with safe, reliable electricity and water. We use the latest technologies and test our products daily to maintain the highest international standards. Our friendly staff is always there to assist you, whether in person, over the phone, or online. We are committed to constantly improving our products and services, making them more efficient, effective, and environmentally friendly to serve you better today and our next generation of clients tomorrow. GEBE, powering a brighter future.
Hi, and welcome back to A Better Place. Maria, we were discussing motivation, and now I want to talk a little bit to you about how do you motivate the youngsters, and if you go into the schools or if you go to the service clubs and offer your services.
Actually, lots of people have found out about me and the motivational speaking that I do, and I'm invited actually. The last one I did was at the Mac School in St. John, but it was actually based on care, you know, and the different illnesses and first aid and stuff like that. But at the end, one of the teachers, they were so happy and they were like, you know, I thought when I came to this lecture that I would be sleeping, but actually I was fully awake and listening. And when you hear that, it really encourages one that is doing the presentation to, you feel good because you know that your words were not gone at lost. And you have to keep people's attention focused on what you're saying. When I'm speaking, I want, my presentation is that at the end, you haven't missed anything. It doesn't have to be long and it doesn't have to be boring, but it must be motivating at the end. That is what the result is. I did one at a church just about 2 or 3 months ago in Coal Bay, and it was pertaining to the ladies, you know, that woman in your life, that woman in you. And I took it from the Proverbs 31 woman, and that presentation, I mean, it really hit them somewhere, and at the end they were like, wow, this was good. We need something like this again. You know, and I felt good because I was actually speaking about myself as well, included. So in my motivating, I always believe that I use myself and I should use myself as an example to get to the point where I want to bring you. Look at me. I didn't go in a corner. I didn't put myself in hiding. I motivated. I worked and I gained my strength, and I was motivated spiritually to go forward, not to stay behind. And when I'm speaking to the youngsters, I encourage them that way. Be yourself. Surround yourself with good people, positive youngsters. If you have a friend and that friend is not positive, move away. Hi and bye.
But you know, Maria, that's kind of difficult for a young person because they are faced with so much peer pressure. So how do you help them to recognize true friendship and those who are good for you and bad for you?
A matter of fact, that child, you're supposed to know, especially teenagers, because you're old enough to know exactly what you want and where you want to be, starting at age, I would say 13, 14 years, because you have a riper, I must say, understanding. You start to look at your friends. You start to see what they are doing, because most of the time they lend a blind eye and they are more looking into the materialistic things of their friends, what they have in terms of phones nowadays, name brand shoes and gadgets and stuff like that. They need to try to look beyond that. But it is the duty of the parents to guide your children in that direction. How do I guide my children in that direction? It's not everything they want you're going to give them. You got to see if they really deserve or they merit that what they want, because they are not working. So that means to say financially, it's a burden on you as a parent as well. When they start to say, I want and I want and I want, no, you have to start to tell them it's not about what I want, it's what I really need. Do you need this? Are you working? Because you're going to give a child, for instance, a BlackBerry, but there's maintenance to this. You have to top it up. You have to maintain it financially. Are they working? Since you're not working, I don't think you should have this because, for instance, my budget does not allow me to have this. We have to teach the children these things. And why? So you need to take some time out to speak, discuss, and really show them why. Because this way they will get a better understanding as to where you're coming from. You just don't say no and no. Right. Have a real conversation, because children do understand more than we think. So it is important that you start to instill certain morals in these children. And this way you're going to be motivating a child with morals and values of life. When they now in turn get with their friend and the friend start to encourage them, if that child is strong enough and have self-confidence, that child will say, you know something, my parents say that it's not what I want, but it's what I need. And they start to, you know, connect. That other child may not accept as well as they may. Mm-hmm. But at least your child have something to start with. That is the direction that we as parents need to motivate our children. I had my children small, but they wasn't getting anything what they want. Although in their time we didn't have a BB and we didn't
Right.
have certain things that we have now. And even now, they need to know that they should train their children as well, not to have everything that others have. Whether it is these games and all of these kind of things, no. We need to get them in line. You need to motivate them in the things that is worthwhile in life. We know everything has changed. It's not like when I was a little child or when you yourself was, younger. But it's different now. And we need to be aware, we need to be conscious of the situation that is now. And the only way we can do that is by communicating with our children, number one, and also motivating them, first of all, to do well at school. Because when you do well at school, in later years, you can get these things that you would like to have now. But it starts first by really motivating them to learn and encouraging them to listen. Listen to the parents at home, first of all. Listen to your teacher. Always want to be somebody. Always follow your guidelines in life that has been instructed to you by a parent that cares so much, because our parents, some of them, you wonder. You know,
And that's
it's
what
all
I
about
wanted to say as
themselves.
well, because nowadays you hear a lot of people, it's not only nowadays saying that the children of today, but I often say that it's not the children of today, it's the parents and the adults that are emulated by these
That's
children.
correct.
You know, because I often say that with me, for example, I have to be very careful as to what I say and what I do, because my son will remind me, and I don't get upset and say he's rude, because I believe that he is doing what I am teaching him. You know, so we'll come back to that. We want to talk a bit more about, parents, and how as parents also they can be better motivations towards their children. Stay tuned, we will be right back.
When I say Xerox, I know what you're thinking. Transit fares, as in the 37 billion transit fares we help collect each year. No. Oh, right. You're thinking of the 1.6 million daily customer care interactions Xerox handles, or the 900 million health insurance claims we process. So it's no surprise to you that companies depend on today's Xerox for services that simplify how work gets done, which is pretty much what we've always stood for. With Xerox, you're ready for real business.
Welcome back to A Better Place. So Marie, we were talking about parents, children, and how to motivate youngsters. Now, I was saying that nowadays some parents, and adults tend to say that the children of today are wayward and stuff like that. And I tend to believe that it's what they see us as adults doing is what make them behave the way they do. So how would you motivate parents now to be role models, proper examples, and in turn be the motivation that their children need to succeed in life?
First of all, by living a life of example in front of our children. Children live what they see. They learn what they see. And if as a parent you are not living the life that is expected of you or of me as a parent, we will be definitely sending our children down the drain. Children, they understand and they see more than we would ever imagine. And we as kids, we have experienced that as well, because certain things in our parents' lives, we were not outspoken, or I was not outspoken at that time, but you observe it, you live with it, and as you grow older, you talk about it. This is what had happened, so that means to say, every individual with common sense and a good functioning brain and mind experiencing something like that somewhere along life. You take into your adulthood the life that was lived during your childhood. So therefore, if we want to have good men and women, good motivated youngsters, we need as parents to live that exemplary life that our children can really emulate us. And it is very important that we motivate our children as well. Even if things is hard for us, we need to motivate our children to really do better. If not because your mother was in a particular situation, you as the daughter should go into that situation as well. We, as the parents, need to say, no, we're going to break that circle. I'm going to be motivating my children to do much better than I did. Mistakes have been made down the line, but my children don't need to carry that as well. They don't need to do the same thing. It's a pity sometimes when you look at certain children and the parents that they come from, the home, and then you see that their life is differently or either it's the same. Why? Because the communication between the parents and the children were not there. The children were left on their own. There was no kind of motivation from mother, father, and nobody. Some of these children are adults, but they have actually supported themselves. They have made something of themselves on their own or not. So whatever happened to them, there was no support. There was no kind of a motivation, neither spiritual nor otherwise. It is important because your foundation that you get from small is what is important. You can only become and build constructively and have strength if your foundation was strong. It's like a tree. Strong roots, and your roots are really in the ground. No matter what wind of life blow you, you're going to shake left, right, but you're going to come back and stand firm at the time that that wind upholds. It is important that our children be motivated to be that strong tree. As the word says, that strong tree that is planted by the river of water, your roots grows deep. And no matter how the waves batter you, no matter how the wind blow you, you stand strong. Let us motivate our children. The school is now closing. It's vacation time. But try to encourage your children not only to play and be idle, because during vacation time, a lot of things happens to our children.
Yes.
Because they are left alone. Parents is not on vacation. They have to work. Children are left at home. Children are left by friends. Children are left by neighbors. Be careful with our children, especially where sexual molestation is concerned. Be your child a boy or a girl. Have all eyes out for your kids. Protect our children because they are not capable to protect themselves. Talk to them that in case somebody should touch them, somebody should say something to them, they are aware that it is wrong. Because a lot of things, as we know, has been happening in St. Martin where child molestation, sexual abuse has been taking place. And everybody just kind of hush. Now and then, you would see something in the papers, but there's a bigger picture in the back there.
Before you continue, Maria, how do you think we became such a people? Because when talking to persons about St. Martin, people, you know, the indigenous St. Martiners, you often hear them saying that we are passive, we don't stand up, we turn a blind eye. How do you think that ever came about?
I believe that in the past, we were not educated enough. And besides not being educated enough, I would say we kind of had everything as a shame. Everything was nasty, and especially when it comes to our talk about sex. It was like, oh, that is something nasty. No, it can't be something nasty because that's the only way we were here.
Right.
You know? So it is something blessed, but done in the right way. And this is how we have to educate our children and motivate them as well to wait. Because our children in a hurry. You know, you fall in love today and this is what's going on. No. Motivate our children to love themselves, love life, prepare yourself, and then the good things of life will come. It's normal that your body is going, you're a normal person with your senses and your reproductive system is working, is functioning, your hormones are kicking in. The feeling is going to come. But how do I handle it? What do I do? That is the difficult part, and that is the duty of a parent to instruct and guide our children in that direction. Nothing is wrong with your feelings, but there's something we have to work on, and that is controlling the feeling. Surround yourself with the positive people.
Well, Maria, you know, I'm, as usual, very happy to have had you on the program. And I just want to know what final words you have for us before we leave today.
The final word is this. Congratulations to the children. All of our children that have graduated this year, right now this school term. And I pray that you prepare yourself as well. Enjoy the vacation, but prepare yourself for the coming school year and the future, what you have to do. Because some of our children have to travel abroad. Some of our children will be staying here and continuing their education. But whatever your choice is in life, when it comes to education, God bless you and look forward towards a bright future and a bright new school year.
Well, Maria, thanks once again for having been a part of A Better Place. You're always welcome with those motivational words. I thank you. And to you, the viewing audience, I would like to thank you for having been a part of A Better Place. Continue to tune in as we continue to bring you educational and enlightening programs. I am your host, Angelique.